Welcome to my crafting channel, Craft with Paula. Today we're going to look at using card front stencils to create texture on your card fronts. So in our catalogue, our main Close to My Heart core catalogue, we have a page on page 86 and 87 full of really fun pre-made stencils for you. Of course, you can create your own stencils. You can use die cutting machines, we can use the electronic Cricut machines, things like that. However, we have got these packaged up into little sets. So we have got them into a set of 3 as they run down the line, and we have got the 12 by 12 inch stencils in sets of 3 running down the line as well. On the same page, we've got texture paste and our little palette knives. So that's a little hint that they work pretty well together. We've also got this fun little image up the top saying other coordinating products, and in there are our gloss sprays. So we're going to use a few of those things together today just to create a bit of a fun textured card front. So the first thing I'm just going to point out to you is that we are going to be using our black core cardstock. So this black core, it means that it is a cardstock that is a stronger material than our traditional cardstocks that are white core. And it also means that it holds structure better, but it also means that it is a great type of cardstock if you're wanting to have a little bit more stability. Now I'll just show you when I tear this, because it is a black core, you're going to get a black tear, so you don't have that white look coming through like you would normally with some of our cardstocks. And I'm also going to use a card front stencil, a slimline one that I have got through Maker Only Supplies. It's got a neat little pattern on it, and I'm gifting it to my retreat ladies this weekend as well. So here's a little piece of the black core cardstock cut to fit our White Daisy card front, slimline card fronts. So I have cut this slightly smaller. Our card fronts are 3.5 by 8.5 inches, and I've cut this down just 1/8 of an inch shorter at both measurements. Okay, so that's my starting point. Now I'm just going to bring out a portion of our all-purpose mat. Our all-purpose mat comes as a large size. This is just 1/4 of it that I have trimmed down for this purpose so that I can just work on my mat without having to have excess when I don't need it. So I'm going to overlay the stencil over the top of that piece of card. I've got a couple of pieces of washi tape. They're actually they've lost a lot of their tackiness, so it's not going to give a lot of strength and stability, but it's just going to be a little bit helpful to stop too much slipping and sliding going on. I'm going to use our texture paste, which comes as an opaque matte. We do have a little mini series that have got a few different finishes, but this is the one we've got as our larger piece. Now I've just heard a tip today which I think is a very, very good idea, and I'm going to start doing it too, and that is where you use a bit of Glad wrap to put underneath the lid, and you can even push it right down to the top of your paste that's left over so that there's no air left in the container when you seal it back up again. The problem with the air is that the texture paste goes quite hard, and this one already is, I've had it for a while, but it's still got softness in it, but it is definitely a stronger texture than what it was when I first got it. So I'm going to start using a bit of Glad wrap inside just to help keep that air flow away from my my paste. Now this is really just like spreading icing on a cake. If you're someone that's quite familiar with that kind of style of technique, I am just going away from myself to try and not get too many instances where the texture paste creeps underneath the stencil, given that I haven't really secured it hugely well. You can buy sprays to spray on the back of your stencil so that when you put them down they sort of tack to the surface. Temporary tack, and that would be a really great idea. I just don't have that kind of a spray with me, so I'm just going through and trying to get through all the little black holes without lifting the stencil at all. It's not a particularly hard thing to do, it's just something to be a little bit mindful of as you go. So I'm going around like that, and because I've got it on the mat, I can do a little flip of the mat rather than myself, just to carry on getting to the top of this stencil, finishing off what I've got on my brush and then smoothing it out. While it's at this stage, I'll just point out that you could have coloured your texture paste first. If you had wanted to, you could have put a bit of ink onto the all-purpose mat and rub the texture paste into that to get a colourful texture paste. Because I'm doing it on black, the white is actually going to be a really stunning look, so I'm quite okay with just keeping it white. at this point in time. But I am going to bring in those gloss sprays next. Just once I've done this, I seem to be making a bit of a few bumps on here. Not my day today. We'll just get it as smooth as possible. Got that at this point now, and I'm actually going to bring out my gloss sprays and do a little bit of squirting just over some of this. I love our gloss sprays. They are acrylic gloss sprays, and in fact, I'll show you in the book, they come in a variety of colours. They're really strong colour, which is really nice to have. Our gloss sprays, there's one of them there. It's showing you all how they affect, how they come through. So we've got white on the black, looks really neat as well, and gold on the black is shown on this picture as well. And then we've got turquoise, we've got ocean, got lime, which actually isn't pictured, I don't think. Oh no, sorry, that is lime, cheddar, and fuchsia, which is a lovely pinkly purple. So those are the colours we've got at the moment in our range of gloss sprays. So what I'm going to do is peel off our washi tapes. And this is the fun part with stencils. I always love the big reveal. So hopefully the big reveal is worth seeing. I'm going to peel off my stencil, and doesn't that look really, really fun? So you've got the lovely white showing up on the black design is coming through, but also with that gloss spray, oops, get that in the picture, we're getting a really nice two-toned effect with the blues, the teals coming through as well. Now I need to go and clean up that stencil pretty quickly, and this obviously needs to dry off a little bit to finish. So just for today's purposes, I've actually gone ahead and created this already with a finished card here. Now I'm keeping the card really, really simple. The background is such a fun and cool effect that you don't need to add much to the front of it. So this one I've just done a simple thinking of you from the stamp set Many Wishes. I love how there's so many long slimline titles in here, and I often stamp a few extras when I'm doing a bit of stamping just so I've got a couple on hand ready to create a card with. So I hope that's given you a little bit of inspiration, something you can try with your stencils. Definitely get hold of a bit of texture paste, have a little bit of fun with it, but always, always seal it up and maybe start putting a bit of Glad wrap on them as well, just to keep them nice and pliable. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. We'll see you soon.